for Ceredo Kenova. He's 7 of 11 in this tournament, lucky number, as he has 7 singles and has been hit by a pitch along with 2 RBIs. First pitch lifted into right center field, sinking fast, and that's going to get to the wall. Takes one hop off the top of the wall. He rounds second and will slam on the brakes there, and a leadoff double for Ceredo Kenova. So 7 singles and now a double to go along with that for Harrison Riggs, and that'll bring up Jack Shoemaker. Shoemaker batting .500 in this tournament, 5 of 10, 3 singles, 2 doubles, 2 walks, and 2 RBIs. An early opportunity here for Ceredo Kenova as ball 1 high. Again, Ceredo Kenova just absolutely walloped Sophia yesterday, 24-5, had an 11-run 6th inning. 1-1 the count. Again, there was a 13-5 game going into the 6th inning. That's why it wasn't a 10-run rule game, but Ceredo Kenova jumped on top 4-0 yesterday and never looked back as this one chopped back to Purdue. He'll turn and fire to Bauer at first as that'll move Riggs over to third. So Shoemaker does advance the runner, and that'll bring up Isaiah Sanders, the third baseman, who is second in this tournament in RBIs with 13, as he's been on fire after the first game of this tournament. He's 8 of 11, 2 triples, 2 doubles, 2 singles, and 2 home runs to his credit, along with those 2 RBIs as he homered yesterday as well. As we mentioned, had that 3-run home run in the bottom of the 5th inning that tied the game up against Mineral County on Sunday night before McChristian gave them the lead. Sanders was 3 for 3 in that first game against Mineral County, a single, a 2-run double, and then that home run. That pitch misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. Ceredo Kenova was slow to get out of the gates in their first 2 games. Is this one a high chopper back to Purdue, looks down and now throws to first. Here comes Riggs, and he will score. Great patience by Riggs that time. Purdue did everything right. He looked him back to the bag and then fired over quickly to first, but Riggs just got a great break after this. As you see right here, he looks him back, and then right as Purdue let go, Riggs gambled and took off, and you see Bauer realized he didn't really have a chance to get him. And an RBI ground out for Sanders. That is his 14th now this tournament. Just 1 behind Lanson Orndorff of Mineral County, and it's 1-0 Ceredo. Brody Spencer now climbs in. First pitch strike from Purdue, 0-1. And Spencer 4 for 5 yesterday in his first game. 3 singles, a double, and was hit by a pitch and just gets out of the way of that one, 1-1. As we said, having to go through the loser's bracket in order to get here really does deplete your staff, but Mineral County superbly able to keep Purdue along with Hare available for today. As the bottom dropped out of that curveball, nice pitch by Purdue, 1-2, looking to retire the side right here. Spencer hits one a mile high out into left field, still carrying back towards the wall, but caught by Catlett as the ballpark just able to hold it for out number 3. But a double by Harrison Riggs and an RBI ground out by Isaiah Sanders gives Ceredo Kenova a 1-0 lead as we go to the top of the 2nd inning. As we look through the first inning here, we'll stay here heading towards the 2nd. Again, a 3-up, 3-down for Mineral County. Now they'll send up their 4, 5, and 6 hitters with Lanson Orndorff, Lucas Williamson, and Kay Bauer. Again, we're here for the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Tournament. Chris Kidd with you, along with Robbie Mounts, our engineer, and Brian Shepard, our statistician and graphic organizer for today's game. And again, if you're just now joining us, we apologize, had a little bit of internet difficulty getting on, but the game is being recorded, so you can go back later and check out any of the action you may have missed in the first inning. But again, in the top of the first, Jackson Hare grounded out to second base. Blake Jacobs flew out to left field, and Jesus Purdue struck out as Ceredo Kenova came up. A double by Harrison Riggs, a ground out to the pitcher by Shoemaker, and then an RBI ground out to the pitcher by Sanders gave them a 1-0 lead before the fly out by Spencer just a moment ago. As we said, these two teams have faced off already in this tournament. Ceredo Kenova winning one of the best games, if not the best game of the tournament, 8-6. We've seen quite a few great games in this tournament. Again, the Mineral County win after trailing 10-5 in the bottom of the fifth against Fairmont on Saturday night, winning 11-10. Then the Ceredo and Mineral game, 8-6. The Logan and Fairmont pitchers duel that Fairmont won in the bottom of the sixth inning, 3-2. Again, it's just been superb baseball on so many of these days. Even the Central Greenbrier and Fairmont game, that was a classic pitchers duel as well. So it's been a wonderful week here from Central Greenbrier Little League field. And now we head to the top of the second inning, and this is a winner-take-all affair. Even though Mineral County has one loss against them and Ceredo has none, this winner-take-all as Orndorff grounds to third. Going to be a tough play, lobs it over, not going to be in time as Orndorff beats it out for an infield hit. As Sanders made a good play on it, but the throw just a little tardy, and that'll be the 11th hit of the tournament for Orndorff. Comes in here now, 11 of 16 after that infield hit. Orndorff with 2 home runs, 6 singles now, 3 doubles, 2 walks, and those 15 RBIs, which is just 1 ahead of Sanders and 3 ahead of his teammate Purdue. As Lucas Williamson will climb in. Williamson 3 for 10 for the tournament, 3 singles. He's walked 6 times and has 4 RBIs. Squares to bunt, gets it down. This is going to be a tough play. Fielded, but no play. And now Orndorff's going to go for third. Nobody covering the bag, and Orndorff in safely. Heads up base running by Orndorff. Able to advance on to third with no one covering the bag. And Williamson laid down a perfect bunt that just died on the grass. And you had a feeling that might be coming after Williamson talked with his third base coach that time, but Ceredo didn't expect it. And now Kay Bauer, who's 8 for 12 in this tournament, comes to the plate. Bauer with 8 singles, 2 walks. He's been hit by a pitch 3 times. That's 5 RBIs as well as Williamson takes second base on the no throw. It's a big chance for Mineral County to jump out, tie this game, perhaps take the lead as a swing and a miss by Bauer, 0-2. We've talked about throughout this tournament, this Mineral County team has just pounded the ball in nearly every game except for the game that they played Ceredo Kenova. They've scored in double digits every game except for against Ceredo. This one hit into short right field, sinking fast, and that's in for a hit. Orndorff will score. Williamson will hold at third as Ceredo was a little late getting that ball back into the infield, but hit shallow enough to where they didn't try and send the runner, and now it's 1-1 on the RBI single by Kay Bauer. That'll bring up Jeremiah Babo. He's 5 for 16 in the tournament with 3 singles, 2 doubles, and 5 RBIs. Breaking ball misses outside, 1-0. But Mineral County averaging 13.6 runs per game coming in here today. Scored 11 against Fairmont, 16 against Boone Northern, 16 against Fairmont the second time, and then 19 last night in the win over Sophia in the losers bracket final as Bauer takes second base. And actually, no, they're going to say Bauer left too early, so they're going to send him back to first base. Against Ceredo Kenova, though, Mineral County only scored 6 runs. But as we said, had so many opportunities in that game, but could not capitalize. Now the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Babo. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Now Bauer will jog over to second base. And if you're wondering why no throw, again, if you're unfamiliar with Little League, if you throw down to second base, you're likely going to see the runner come in to score from third. So more often than not, Little League teams will just concede that base. Swing and a miss, big strikeout for Spencer as he gets Babo to go down on strikes for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Landon Catlett. Catlett 3 for 8 in the tournament, 2 doubles, a single, a walk, and an RBI. He squares to bunt, lays it down in front of home plate. Going to be a tough play, and they're going to hold and allow Catlett to reach base, and probably the right decision that time, because it would have been tough to throw Catlett out anyway. It was such a good bunt, and if he threw down, then that was going to allow Williamson to score from third. So now bases loaded. 4 hits this inning for Mineral County, 2 of those bunts. And that'll bring up Braylon McGreevy, who is 6 of 8 in this tournament with 6 singles and 2 RBIs. Takes a big rip at that one and comes up empty, 0-1. After this, it'll cycle back to the top of the order. Spencer in desperate need of a second out here. This one hit high in the air to the right side, but going to get out of play. Now the gets ahead 0-2 to Spencer. Spencer rocks and fires the 0-2, lunged at and hit slow towards third. That's going to score a run, and everyone's going to be safe. An RBI infield single for Braylon McGreevy. He's done that 3 or 4 times in this tournament with a hit on the infield with his long strides and quickness up the first base side. But right now, nothing is getting through this infield grass. Everything's just hitting and basically dying. And Mineral County has benefited from it this inning as they've taken a 2-1 lead now, and the base is still loaded with 1 out. Strike 1 from Spencer gets ahead of Hare. Hare grounded out to second base to start the ball game off. Now has a big opportunity to give Jesus Perdue some breathing room early in this contest. That in for a strike as Spencer gets ahead once again, 0-2. He's been able to get ahead of the batters this inning, just hasn't been able to finish them off. And in desperate need of an out here. That one misses outside. Nice snag by Farley. Count now moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one hit hard in between third and short, fielded at third, and Sanders wins the race to the bag in order to retire Catlett, but it does bring home a run as Bauer scores from third. And that'll make it 3-1 now in favor of Mineral County here in the top of the second inning. So Hare gets his job done, puts the ball in play, and does get a run across. And that'll bring up Blake Jacobs, who almost put one out of the ballpark his first time up, hit a towering fly ball. And backed Watts up toward the wall, but the ballpark was able to hold it. So Jacobs has 8 RBIs in this tournament. You go through the lineup coming into today. Hare had 7 hits, Jacobs 6, Perdue 10, Orndorff 10, Bauer 8, Williamson 3, Bobo 5, Catlett 3, McGreevy 6. Even off the bench, McKenzie with 3 hits and Feaster with 2 hits. This has been a Mineral County team that has just pounded the ball all tournament long. As Spencer, great pitch that time on the inside corner. Able to freeze Jacobs, 0-1. Jacobs, the 8th batter to come to the plate this inning for Mineral County. Chops one up the middle, and that gets through into center field. Kane up with it. They're going to hold the runner as Kane airmails the throw almost into the press box that time. As he came up firing with everything he had, but they hold the runner up on the sharp hit single by Jacobs. Normally you might gamble on that with 2 out, but whenever you got Jesus Perdue coming up, you want to give him an opportunity here. Perdue struck out to end the first inning. He's been one of the 3 most dangerous hitters in this tournament. You've got all 3 of them in this game with Perdue and Orndorff on Mineral County and Sanders on Ceredo Kenova's side. Riggs has been right up there as well near that category, and now danger time here as Spencer falls behind 2-0. He's got nowhere to put Perdue. Let's see if Perdue's sitting dead red here at 2-0. Ooh, takes a big rip, but comes up empty, 2-1. Spencer, a big strike there. Let's see if he comes back and challenges Purdue once again here. He does and gets it by Purdue again. So 2 big fastballs there by Spencer. Gets him back even with Jesus Purdue. Mineral County has scored 3 this inning, but Ceredo Kenova can get out of this without any further damage here. Foul tipped and hung on to by Farley. Another big strikeout for Spencer of Jesus Purdue to end the thread here in the second, but Mineral County does plate 3 runs, and they take a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the second inning. Back after this as you're watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Championship game right here on Video Productions.
As a member of the military, a military family, or a veteran, the last thing you should have to worry about is your prescriptions. At your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, we'll transfer your prescriptions for you with no interruptions in service. Our pharmacists will be there to help answer questions and share tips and advice with a friendly, knowledgeable smile. And we're not going anywhere. We welcome military personnel and their families. Transfer your prescriptions today. Griffith and File Drugstore and Soda Fountain, 1405 Chestnut Street, Kenova. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100-plus stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Bottom of the second inning we head as Mineral County has taken the lead 3-1. Chris Kidd with you, Brian Shepard, our graphic organizer and statistician, along with Robbie Mounts in for Butch today. 6 hits and 3 left on base that inning for Mineral County. So that's now 3 times in 2 games that Mineral County has left the bases loaded against Ceredo Kenova, but they were able to break through for 3 this past inning. But as we said, in the first game, Ceredo Kenova was able to hang around against Mineral County. In the early innings, it felt like Mineral County was just going to blow the doors off of Ceredo Kenova in that first game. But it just never transpired, and Ceredo was able to stay in long enough in order to mount 2 rallies, one for 3 runs in the third inning and then for 5 runs in the 5th inning. But now Jesus Purdue goes back to work, gets ahead of Bo Farley, 0-1. Farley, 5 of 11 in this tournament, 3 singles, 2 doubles, and a walk, as that one misses outside. Farley also has 2 RBIs to his credit. That one misses low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. That one misses outside as well, so 3-1 as Purdue falls behind here. Ceredo Kenova trying to get the leadoff man on here in the bottom of the second. And there he goes. It's 4 straight balls to Farley after a first pitch strike, and now Ceredo Kenova trying to mount a rally of their own here in the bottom of the second as Cole McChristian will stand in. McChristian 2 of 6 in this tournament, with a home run and a single, along with with a walk. And the 2 hits McChristian got were in the game against Mineral County the other day. As we said, that single and then the 2-run home run in the 5th inning that gave Ceredo the lead. Now he'll come to the plate here trying to get something going for Ceredo Kenova. In the bottom of the second, nice breaking ball there by Purdue. Swung on a miss by McChristian, 0-1. Runner at first for Ceredo Kenova, nobody out. That one misses low as McChristian lays off. There's a strike right at the knees of McChristian. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Purdue looking for the first out of the inning and gets him with a curveball, strike 3. That's a pitch we saw him use very effectively last night in his 1 inning of work. So he had the bottom completely drop out of a few of them, and right there you get a good look at it. That'll be out number 1. Miguel Kane stands in. Kane 2 of 9 in this tournament. A home run and a double. That one hit towards Bobo, knocked down at third, but he's not going to have a play as Kane able to beat it out over towards first. Farley able to reach over at third. So now first and second. Ceredo Kenova puts the tying run on base, and Evan Mannon will come to the plate. Mannon 0 for 5 in the tournament with a walk and an RBI. First pitch in right at the knees again, 0-1, as Purdue starting to find that pitch a lot more effectively. This one chopped foul. So he works himself ahead quickly of Mannon. Mannon was 0 for 2 in the first game between these two with a strikeout and a ground out to short. It's the bottom of the Ceredo order trying to do some work here against Purdue as that one skips and gets away. And that's, and the runners didn't move up on that. I'm surprised that the runners for Ceredo didn't go, as that looked like it got far enough away from Orndorff to go. So let's see if that ends up coming back to hurt them. This one laced towards the right side, fielded there, tagged by Williamson for 1, over to first for 2. And the fact the runners didn't move up on that wild pitch does come back to hurt them on the very next pitch, as a double play turned by Lucas Williamson to end the bottom of the second inning. We'll be back for the top of the third after this, as you are watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Championship game right here on Video Productions.
Are your kids playing in a real Little League? Little League is the world's largest and most respected youth sports program, with nearly 2.4 million children and more than 1 million volunteers in dozens of countries around the world. Little League includes baseball and softball programs for kids ages 4 to 16. There's the Challenger Division program for kids with physical and mental challenges too. For those adults interested in starting a genuine Little League in your area, assistance is available from Little League International in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. For more information on Little League, visit Little League website at www.littleleague.org.
No child in our community should have to go hungry, but it happens every day. That's why the Food Shack is traveling across our area to stop hunger among community kids. The mission is simple: feed as many kids as possible with free hot meals 5 days a week. There's no questions asked and no catch. If your child is hungry and needs something to eat, the Food Shack will provide them with a meal. Visit our Facebook page to find out where the Food Shack is going next.
Top of the third inning we go, as it is 3-1 in favor of Mineral County. Chris Kidd with you, Robbie Mounts, our engineer, Brian Shepard, our graphic organizer and statistician for today's ball game. Again, Ceredo Kenova comes in here without a loss on their behalf. The only loss Mineral County had was against Ceredo Kenova, but this a little bit different format than in years past. This is a winner-take-all championship game, so even though Mineral does have a loss on their behalf, if they win this game, they will be crowned state champions. It'll be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters this inning for Mineral County: Lanson Orndorff, Lucas Williamson, and Cade Bauer, as they sent all 9 to the plate last inning. Left the bases loaded, but did plate 3 runs as Spencer. First pitch in for a strike, 0-1. Orndorff led off last inning with an infield single. Again, 4 of the 6 hits that Mineral County had last inning were all on the infield. This one hit sky high into right field, backing up towards the wall. It is over the head of the right fielder Mannon and takes a hop over the fence for a ground rule double. Mannon just struggled to find that ball. And now That'll bring up Lucas Williamson, who had a sacrifice bunt that turned into a hit as he was able to beat it out. As we said, the grass playing really slow on the infield today. And Mineral County used it to their advantage last inning. Again, moving this game up today. It was scheduled originally for 6 p.m., but storms moving into the area after 2 o'clock today. That one fouled up into the screen by Williamson. I'd like to say hi to Joe Mounts as well, who's sitting at home. Yeah, nice to know Joe's watching with us today. It's good to hear from you, buddy. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. I was wondering if we'd see Joe this week. I didn't know if we would have Robbie or Joe coming up today. Nice to see Mounts boys getting out, getting some fresh air. The 0-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. As Spencer able to strike out Williamson for the first out of the inning. Now the batter will be Cade Bauer. Bauer had an RBI single to right field last inning. Now has an RBI opportunity with Orndorff at second base, lifts it into right field. Manning backs up, this time makes the grab as Orndorff will tag up and move over to third. And throw was errant getting back in, but Riggs able to chase it down. Now that'll bring up Jeremiah Bobo. And I'd like to say hello to Bobo's family and friends that are watching in Africa and Germany today. Again, we're glad that you're with us here on Video Productions, and great to know that Jeremiah's family's out there following him and watching. And here he might give him something to cheer about as he rips it into center field over the head of Kane. That will score Orndorff, and Bobo into second base with an RBI double. So how's that for a present out in Africa and Germany as Jeremiah Bobo pounds that ball off the center field wall and gives Mineral County now a 4-1 lead. Like we said, he's hit the ball hard almost all tournament. Was robbed in basically the first 3 games of this tournament. Seemed like every time you turned around, Bobo had a loud out on his behalf, but then finally started to break free and got 5 hits in the last 2 games. And now gets a big hit here in the state championship game as a swing and a miss by Catlett, 0-1. Mineral County continues to inch away from Ceredo Kenova in this game. Now here's a soft pop up into left field, going to fall for a hit. Bobo rounds third. Here comes the play at the plate, and he's able to beat it. Throw over to second, not in time. And Catlett with an RBI single now opens up a 5-1 lead for Mineral County here in the top of the third. Aggressive base running by Bobo on that. He took off as soon as the ball was hit. And with enough speed to get in there, just beat the throw. Farley alertly tried to pick off Catlett taking second base, but Catlett able to get in. And now you get Braylon McGreevy, who had an RBI infield hit in the second inning. That misses inside, 1-0. Spencer now at 45 pitches for the game. Again, 85 pitches is the most you can throw in a contest. This one fouled off towards the right, coming towards us, and you could hear it hit against the bleachers right behind us. And obviously it's not going to be an issue after today, but in case you were curious about the pitching rules, if you haven't been with us all week, again, if you go over 20 pitches, you have to have 1 day's rest. Over 35 pitches, 2 days rest. As McGreevy chops it towards second, Shoemaker fires over to first. In time to McChristian for out number 3. But RBI singles, or double by Jeremiah Bobo and an RBI single by Landon Catlett gives Mineral a 5-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the third inning. Back after this as you are watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Championship game right here on Video Productions.
General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100-plus stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
As a member of the military, a military family, or a veteran, the last thing you should have to worry about is your prescriptions. At your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, we'll transfer your prescriptions for you with no interruptions in service. Our pharmacists will be there to help answer questions and share tips and advice with a friendly, knowledgeable smile. And we're not going anywhere. We welcome military personnel and their families. Transfer your prescriptions today. Griffith and File Drugstore and Soda Fountain, 1405 Chestnut Street, Kenova. Health Mart, caring for you and
Welcome back, everybody. Chris Kidd here with you. Here from Central Greenbrier Little League Field. Again, beg my pardon. Having some fun with the Mounts brothers through text and through here. Again, we've got Chris Kidd here with you announcing. You got Brian Shepard, statistician and graphic designer. You got Robbie Mounts, our engineer, and Joe Mounts, evidently executive producing from home today. So glad we got Joe on board somehow, some way today. So, again, everybody's on board today. And, again, Butch, their father, been with us here all week engineering, so we appreciate everything that they've been able to do for us along with Central Greenbrier Little League and all the setup they've had for us this week. As Purdue, first pitch, gets a swing and a miss on Mason Watts, 0-1. And Purdue paints that outside corner. Perfect pitch right there. So quickly gets ahead 0-2. Central Greenbrier jumped out to a 1-0 lead, but ever since then it's been all Mineral County as that ball chopped foul down the third base side. Watts is 2 for 5 in this tournament with a double, a single. He's been hit by a pitch and walked. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Okay, you start to hear Mineral County fans screaming to tag him, but Orndorff was able to hang on to it through the foul tip. That's the first strikeout for Jesus Purdue in this game, and that'll bring it back to the top of the order with Harrison Riggs. And there's a nasty breaking ball right on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Again, only 2 hits through the order thus far. Riggs have one of those. This time he chops it to Jacobs, but the throw over to first, wide of the mark, and will allow Riggs to reach with one out here in the bottom of the third inning. Again, Riggs had that double to right center field. Miguel Kane, the other, with a hit in this game. But other than that, Purdue has held these bats silent. Shoemaker hits one towards the right side. That gets through into right field as Riggs moves over to second. Shoemaker at first, and now a chance here for Ceredo Kenova in the bottom of the third. As Riggs had to hold up on that to make sure that the ball did get through, as Williamson was making a diving attempt towards the ball but was out of his reach, and now Isaiah Sanders stands in. So he said 13 RBIs in this tournament. Pitch misses outside, or actually 14 RBIs now after he had an RBI ground out in the first inning. He's got 2 home runs in this tournament. He's got 2 of each, actually, for each base. Takes a big rip at this one, but misses. Count now 1 ball and 1 strike, as that's pitch 34 for Purdue. 47 thus far for Spencer. Swing and a miss again by Sanders, 1-2. As we were saying before we go to break, 85 pitches is the limit you can go in any Little League game before you have to come out of the contest. Both pitchers on a decent clip right now, as here comes the 1-2. That one gets away from Purdue and evens the count at 2-2. But we saw that affected Logan the other night. Again, Ivan Miller had struck out 15 batters through 5 innings. He had literally struck out every out that he had, but had run out of pitches. Now this one hit back up the middle, goes off of Purdue, and that's going to lead to everyone being safe. He was able to knock that down to prevent it from going into center field. But it landed about 6 feet away from him, and that was far enough to where Sanders and everyone would be safe. So that'll be a hit for Sanders. His 9th hit of the tournament, and now that's going to bring a visit to the mound here as a critical juncture in this game for both ball clubs. Ceredo Kenova desperate need of some runs here after Mineral County scored 3 in the second inning, 2 in the top of the third inning. And now you have Brody Spencer, the cleanup hitter, coming up for Ceredo with only 1 out still. As we said, this Ceredo Kenova team just won't go away in this tournament. They trailed in the later innings against Central Greenbrier in their first game on Saturday 2-1, came back to win that 7-3, as we mentioned, trailed by 3 runs twice against Mineral County on Sunday and came back and won. And then were able to defeat Sophia yesterday 24-5, but this team called themselves the Wonders as a nickname. Can this team make yet another comeback here? We're at a pivotal juncture of the game here in the bottom of the third inning. Spencer flew out to left field deep last time, but as I said, was 4 or 5 yesterday. That pitch misses and gets away, but Riggs will stay at third. The last thing Ceredo wants to do is take the bat out of their cleanup hitter's hands right now, should he get thrown out at home. This one ripped down the third base side, and that's fair. Down the line, cut off by Catlett. 2 runs will score, and now the lead has been cut in half on the RBI single by Brody Spencer here in the bottom of the third. Again, this is only the second game of the tournament for Brody Spencer, but man, how big has he been? That's already 5 RBIs now in 2 games and 5 hits through 2 games. That brings up Bo Farley. He walked in his first plate appearance to start the second inning. That misses outside, and now the count to 2-0. Farley was 1 for 3 in the first game between these two, hit into a fielder's choice, had an RBI double to left and grounded out. Here's a chopper toward short. Jacobs up with it, fires over to Bobo in time for the force out at third. So heads up play by Jacobs, taking the force out and the closest out to him. And that will bring up Cole McChristian. McChristian struck out in his first plate appearance in the second inning. Again, if you go back and check out our replays from this week on Facebook, you can see the home run that McChristian hit to dead center field off of Blake Jacobs to give Ceredo Kenova the lead in the bottom of the 5th inning. Now we're going to have a courtesy runner here for Farley. So he'll go back to the dugout, get his catcher's gear on, and it'll be Landon Dixon that will come in to courtesy run. But sort of a similar situation here for McChristian. Can he come through again against Mineral County as he did on Sunday night? Now Purdue peers in and gets ready as home plate umpire John Beard getting back behind the catchers. We're ready to go. Fastball misses low, 1-0. This one chopped towards the right side, fielded cleanly by Williamson, but the throw gets away. McChristian beats it out over to first, and that loads the bases back up. Oh, and Williamson just hurried that throw. As the ball got on him quick, he had plenty of time to make the throw over to first, but just rushed it and threw it low and away from Bauer. And now the base is loaded again, and Miguel Kane stands in. Kane had a single on the infield his last time up, swing and a miss, 0-1. And he was able to break out of a little bit of a slump yesterday with that 3-run home run he hit against Sophia. Strike 2, good pitch there by Purdue. As he tries to put Ceredo away here and end the bleeding in the bottom of the third. Swing and a miss, strike 3 as Purdue able to strand 3 runners. Mineral County left the bases loaded earlier in the game. Now Ceredo Kenova leads the bases loaded, but they do plate 2 as it's back to a 2-run game heading to the top of the 4th inning. Back after this as you are watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Championship game right here on Video Productions.
As a member of the military, a military family, or a veteran, the last thing you should have to worry about is your prescriptions. At your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, we'll transfer your prescriptions for you with no interruptions in service. Our pharmacists will be there to help answer questions and share tips and advice with a friendly, knowledgeable smile. And we're not going anywhere. We welcome military personnel and their families. Transfer your prescriptions today. Griffith and File Drugstore and Soda Fountain, 1405 Chestnut Street, Kenova. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Little General Stores knows West Virginia, but what some may not know is what LG is doing in your communities. And I'm here to tell you how Little General, with the strength of their 100+ stores, is helping to enrich lives and empower families in West Virginia. Like the Norma May Huggins Cancer Research Endowment Fund, which is fighting to cure cancer every day right here in West Virginia. Locally owned and operated, LG has always been there and always will be. Little General Stores, committed to West Virginians. Boom!
Top of the 4th inning we move. Chris Kidd here with you. Robbie Mounts, our engineer. Brian Shepard, our graphic organizer and statistician. Joe Mounts, our executive producer of today's ball game. As we are getting set to head to the second half of this contest, and a new pitcher on the mound now for Ceredo Kenova as Spencer's been lifted. And it'll be Harrison Riggs now on the pitch. Again, yesterday, smart move by Ceredo's coaching staff. They jumped out 7-0 on Sophia. And once they realized that they had a pretty good lead in that game, they decided, you know what, it'd be good to have Riggs along with Spencer available in case we need him tomorrow. And so they pulled him. And here's where it could pay off for them. As Brown at first base now for Ceredo Kenova. Sanders has moved to shortstop, and Spencer over to third. And you also have some changes in the outfield. It's Watts exiting and Dixon moving into left field. And John Henry Stepp moving into right field here in the top of the 4th. So again, you're going to start seeing a few of the subs start to enter into the game here, usually about in this spot. Here they're reading off some of the subs to us, but as we said, this will be the finals of this tournament. And through 3 innings of play, 5 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors for Mineral County. They've left 4 on base. Ceredo Kenova, 3 runs on 5 hits, no errors, and 4 left on base. As we mentioned, both teams have left the bases loaded thus far today. But both teams were able to plate runs in each half inning. Again, Mineral County scored 3 whenever they left the bases loaded, and Ceredo Kenova was able to get 2 across last inning. On the Brody Spencer 2 RBI single. So Spencer threw 47 pitches. Ironically, Purdue has thrown 47 pitches thus far. So they were dead even coming into this inning. We'll see if Mineral keeps with Purdue or if they go to Jackson Hare at some point in this game. And now it looks like we're finally ready to go here in the top of the 4th inning, as it'll be the top of the order for Mineral County: Jackson Hare, Blake Jacobs, and Jesus Purdue. Well, we thought we were ready to go, but it looks like the press box trying to get some of the substitutes in as well here. And as we said, this game moved up today because of the bad weather moving in later on today. Again, perfect right now outside. But supposed to be bad weather moving in, possibly around 2:30, maybe a little bit later. But tournament organizers didn't want to take a chance on trying to go later on and getting rained out today. So it's a good move by them in order to ensure that this tournament comes to its conclusion today, as Hare fouls it down the left field line and out of play. Hare's 0 for 2 today, grounded out to second base to start off the game and hit into a fielder's choice in the second inning. Has 7 hits in the tournament with 4 singles and 3 doubles. This one hit towards third. What a glove by Spencer. Throws to Brown in time for out number 1 as Hare was digging it down the first base line, but Spencer, just a great play over at third, just casually kind of backhanded that ball and threw it on over. And that'll bring up Blake Jacobs. He's 1 for 2 today. Flew out to left field in the first inning and singled to center field in the second inning. First pitch swinging back up the middle. Shoemaker there fires from nearly second base and gets the out. So 2 quick outs here on just 3 pitches for Harrison Riggs, and that'll bring up Jesus Perdue. Perdue 0 for 2 today, uncharacteristic for the production he's put out in this tournament. He struck out on both plate appearances. He'd only struck out once coming into today's game. Riggs has that sidearm delivery, and he pumps it in for a fastball strike, 0-1. Again, Perdue, 4 singles, 3 triples, 3 doubles in this tournament. This one hit towards the left side, and that gets through into left field for a hit. So the 11th hit of this tournament for Perdue keeps the inning alive for Lanson Orndorff. Orndorff 2 for 2 today, had an infield single in the second inning and then had a ground rule double to right field his last time up. But if you're Riggs and if you can work through Perdue and Orndorff on top of this order without giving up a run, you have to feel very accomplished, as they've just absolutely punished everybody in this tournament. As this Mineral County lineup, as there's ball 1. We talked about there's really not a safe place in this Mineral County lineup to pitch to. Stays away and misses outside Orndorff, 2-0. That one gets called a strike on the outside corner. Farley able to frame that in a good spot. Again, it looked like it moved a little further down, but again, the ball crossed, it looked like, on the outside corner of the plate with our camera a little bit off to the side. That one ripped into right field, and that'll be a hit. Perdue rounds first and heads for third, and now you've got runners at the corners with 2 outs as Orndorff with his 3rd hit of the day. He's now got 13 hits for the tournament. That leads all hitters. So he leads the tournament in hits and in RBIs now. And you get Lucas Williamson coming up. He's 1 for 2 today. Reached on a bunt his first time up and struck out his last time up, as Orndorff will now take over at second base, so second and third. It's actually 1-0 the count. That one misses high, 2-0. Again, a pair of groundouts quickly from Hare and Jacobs, but now back-to-back hits by Perdue and Orndorff, bringing a threat here in the top of the 4th inning. Now the count 2-1 to Williamson as he swings and misses at that fastball. This one hit towards the right side, right at Brown, and makes the grab for out number 3. As Williamson ripped that ball, but it was right at Brown for the third out of the inning as they put a 0 on the board against Mineral County. Not an easy task, but they've done it twice today. Now Ceredo comes to bat, trailing 5-3 in the bottom of the fourth inning. Back after this as you are watching the 2020 West Virginia Little League State Championship game with us right here on Video Productions.
Are your kids playing in a real Little League? Little League is the world's largest and most respected youth sports program with nearly 2.4 million children and more than 1 million volunteers in dozens of countries around the world. Little League includes baseball and softball programs for kids ages 4 to 16. There's the Challenger Division program for kids with physical and mental challenges too. For those adults interested in starting a genuine Little League in your area, assistance is available from Little League International in Williams